great effort there. See it again, an incredible lunge. But anyway, the men's single sculls President's Cup is underway, and in lane 2, Nick Barnier from the ACT, lane 3, Rhys Grant from Western Australia, in lane 4, Sasha Bolonogov from New South Wales, lane 5, Scott Lader, Queensland, in lane 6, Max McQueenie from Tasmania, and in lane 7, Shane Jackson from Victoria. And well out in front early in this race at lane 6, Max McQueenie going out strongly, and alongside him, Scott Laidler from Queensland. Far side of the course, it is Rhys Grant from Western Australia in lane 3. Alongside me, Peter Anthony.
Thanks, Tim. It's going to be pretty hard, I think, for the opposition to get the better of Sasha Bolonogov from New South Wales. He won the Australian Championship just a couple of days ago, so I think he's biding his time there off the start, and he'll press through, I'd imagine, in the middle stages.
Yes, at the moment it is Max McQueenie from Tasmania from the Buckingham Club, and the Tasmanian under-23 champion just pushing it through nicely there. Sasha Bolonogov in lane 4 from New South Wales, and alongside him, Rhys Grant from Western Australia from the ANA Club. And Rhys Grant will race in the WA Kings Cup crew a little later on today. And he was 4th in the national titles on Thursday. But Sasha Bolonogov won the national title earlier this week, and he is the outstanding sculler going into this event. He's training now in Canberra at the Australian Institute of Sport and will be rowing in the World Cup tomorrow. And he absolutely dominated in the selection trials. And we can see this nice long form from Sasha Bolonogov in lane 4. Rhys Grant in lane 3, and in lane 6 it is Max McQueenie as they cross 500 metres. New South Wales, Western Australia and Tasmania. McQueenie currently in 3rd place, but it is still Bolonogov well out in front, 23 years of age, coached by Mark Prater.
He's looking good there, very stable in his boat, not stretching over his toes, and the blades well secured in the water. He's just inching away from the WA sculler Rhys Grant. So middle section of the race here, that's where they all settle down, see how they're going against each other. You know, how far have I gone, how far to go. It's a bit of a journey yet, but Sasha Bolonogov looking very good at this stage.
Yes, and Sasha Bolonogov, I mentioned a moment ago, now training at the Australian Institute of Sport in Canberra. He won Henley, an under-23 medalist. It is great to see these young rowers coming through. Also, he rowed in the Sydney University crew, which won a race across Sydney Harbour, beating Melbourne University. And he now leads by 3/4 of a canvas. The rower on the inside of the course there is Rhys Grant from Western Australia, and he's a good young rower coming through as well. And we see a beautiful picture there through the course, and it looks magnificent. Just rowing down the centre of the course is Bolonogov at the moment in 1st place, and he now leads by canvas. In 2nd place it is Grant, with McQueenie still from Tasmania in 3rd. In 4th it will be Laidler from Queensland. Far side of the course, Nick Barnier from the ACT, coached by his father Brian. I was talking to him yesterday, and he told me that Nick had been doing a lot of labouring in the lead up to this event, and he said that it's going to be very hard for him. He hasn't spent too much time in the boat, but he's a very good rower coming through, 23 years of age. But a bit of a challenge coming on now from Grant from Western Australia. Bolonogov just looking to his right, realising the challenge was here. And Grant and Bolonogov going stroke for stroke. Grant in lane 3, Bolonogov in lane 4.
Yeah, Rhys Grant from WA, he's rowing with a very long stroke, and he's absolutely thrown down the gauntlet at the 900-metre mark. So he's come through the 1,000-metre mark, just shading Sasha Bolonogov from New South Wales. And he's pushing on even further here. So this is a very interesting push right now from the WA sculler.
So it's Grant currently in 1st place, closely followed by Bolonogov. So we have a new leader, and also making a little bit of move through the centre of the course there. In lane 6, McQueenie staying with them from Tasmania. Jackson on his outside, and on the far side of the course it is Barnier in the inside there. In lane 5 it is Scott Lader from Queensland. But it is going to be a real battle. That's Bolonogov, Sasha Bolonogov from New South Wales, currently in 2nd place. And Grant, you can see that he's upping his rating. And Bolonogov, he'll have to respond to the challenge. We saw a great finish a moment ago whereby Sally Keogh came from 1.5 boat lengths back with 250 metres to go to swamp Sarah Perkins on the line to win the women's single sculls. We may need a similar Herculean effort here from Bolonogov if he's going to win this race, because Grant is pushing away from him. Bolonogov has had a very heavy program through the week too, Pete, because he's been involved not only in the interstate races, the open races, but also he has been involved in a World Cup campaign.
Yeah, but you can see the strain on Rhys Grant's face there. He's throwing everything out here, and you wonder if Sasha Bolonogov from New South Wales has seen him. Like the Australian champion from a couple of days ago has let him go straight by him. You know, the other guys, Max McQueenie from Tasmania, they're on shot, just struggling a bit back further. Young Sculler, Scott Laidler from Queensland back further in the pack, but it's the Sculler from WA, Rhys Grant, who's really having a big go here, and he's building a huge margin.
And well out in front, it is Rhys Grant from Western Australia, from the ANA Club, 26 years of age, fourth at the national titles on Thursday, and he just looks across as they move through 1,500 metres, 500 metres to go. Western Australia out in front through Grant, and Bolonogov seems to be struggling in the centre of the course in lane 4. He's currently in second place. McQueenie in third. Laidler coming through from Queensland in lane 5, but if anything, he's pushing away from the rest of the field, Grant. This is a major upset when you consider that Bolonogov was the outstanding rower in single sculls at the selection trials, and we have a rower from Western Australia, Rhys Grant, well out in front. And as I mentioned a moment ago, he will race in the King's Cup tomorrow for Western Australia, and he looks just a little bit of a glance there to the left-hand side, just seeing where Bolonogov is. And he has this race in keeping, you'd have to think. He's so far in front now. He leads by 3.5 boat lengths. If anything, there is a battle for the minor placings. Bolonogov has a real challenge on his hands. Coming through on the inside of the course in lane 5, it is Laidler from Queensland. But this is a great performance by Rhys Grant from Western Australia, just pushing away with this race. Another little glance there, looking at his opposition, and he now leads by 3.5 boat lengths from the rest of the field. It is still Bolonogov from second place. Laidler moving into third. McQueenie and Laidler having a real battle there, but Bolonogov just holding on to second place, well out in front. It is still Grant from Western Australia, about 150 metres to go, and Rhys Grant from Western Australia pushing away with this. He now leads by 4 boat lengths. Bolonogov has a battle on his hands for second place. Coming through is Laidler from Queensland. He's in the men's 8 for the World Cup tomorrow. Great hit out for Laidler from Queensland, but it's Rhys Grant far side of the course from Western Australia, from the ANA Club, stroking to victory in the Interstate men's single sculls, and he crosses the line in first place. And Rhys Grant has won the President's Cup, and he puts his hands in the air, and Bolonogov will hold on only narrowly for second place, only just. And Sasha Bolonogov from New South Wales, the hot favourite going into this race, has finished in second place. But what a performance by Rhys Grant from Western Australia, 26 years of age, and he's upset the champion. What a performance. And the time there, 7:07. He went out, didn't he? He really pushed himself to the limit there.
At 900 metre mark, he just had a big go for him. That's a long way out in the single scull, which is a slow race, but a time of 7:07 into slight head breeze, Tim, is a very good time.
And we see the replay there, and Max McQueenie was out very quickly. Rhys Grant also went out fast, and Rhys Grant, if anything, has led from start to finish, although we saw a great performance in the centre of the race there by Sasha Bolonogov, and Bolonogov at one stage was leading, and then Rhys Grant came through and has been overtaken by Rhys Grant. With about 500 metres to go, it was all Grant.
Well, early in the race, I thought Sasha Bolonogov from New South Wales was looking good, had the lead. Rhys Grant had a big go at 900 metre mark, extended that through the third 500 and rode away. The strain on his face was clearly evident, and you could question, was he going to last? But he certainly did.
Look at that great shot. Rhys Grant, 26 years of age, from Western Australia, from the ANA Club, has won the men's single sculls. He's won the President's Cup. What a terrific performance. Sasha Bolonogov, he has had a heavy program, hasn't he, in the lead up to the World Cup tomorrow. And you just wonder whether or not he had the energy, given that he's rowing tomorrow in the double sculls as well.
Correct, Tim, and I think it's always a big ask. We had the Australian Championship of the single scull earlier in the week with all the scullers from all the clubs